The twin suns of Xyranth burned low over the citadel of glass and chrome, their golden light fractured across towering spires that shimmered like frozen lightning. The great hall of the Varan dynasty was alive with sound, the hum of alien instruments, the soft hiss of oxygen filters, the rhythmic rustle of silk-like armor. Today, the court of Empress Lysera awaited the arrival of a human. Few in the galaxy had ever seen one. The Varan Empire had reigned supreme across 43 star systems. Their warriors were tall, violet-skinned beings with eyes that glowed faintly blue under starlight. They had conquered, enslaved, and assimilated countless species. To them, humanity was a curiosity, a primitive world still nursing its wounds from the Galactic Wars 2 centuries prior. But when a single human mercenary named Commander Rain Voss arrived at their gates, demanding audience with the Empress herself, even the proudest generals were intrigued. The great bronze doors opened with a deep, resonant clang. Rain stepped through. He was not what the Varan expected. No grand armor, no regal cloak, only a black exosuit scorched from battle, and a cold, unwavering stare. His face bore a faint scar beneath his left eye, the kind that told stories of close calls and bitter survival. The guards aimed plasma spears toward him, but he didn't flinch. "Commander Rain Voss of Earth," the herald announced, his voice echoing. "Bearer of the Iron Sigil, survivor of the Obsidian Campaign." A low murmur rippled through the crowd. The Iron Sigil was a mark of death, a badge given to those who had destroyed an entire armada single-handedly. On the dais, the Empress reclined on a throne woven from living crystal. Her daughter, Princess Seraphine, stood at her right, draped in silver armor that glimmered like liquid light. Seraphine's beauty was sharp and cold, her lavender eyes reflecting both intelligence and disdain. When Rain stepped forward and bowed stiffly, Seraphine let out a faint, mocking laugh. "This is the warrior you spoke of, Mother," she said, her voice soft yet cutting. "The humans truly have fallen far if this fragile creature represents them." Rain's gaze flicked toward her, calm but piercing. "I didn't come here for your approval, Princess." Seraphine tilted her head, lips curving into a smirk. "Then why are you here, little human?" He met her eyes, unflinching. "To warn you." That silenced the court. Even the guards paused, unsure if they had heard correctly. "Warn us," Seraphine repeated, laughing outright this time. "You dare step into the heart of the Varan Empire and threaten my mother?" "Not threaten," Rain said quietly. "Warn. There's something coming, something that feeds on light itself. It's already consumed the Dravan colonies. Your fleets will be next." The Empress's gaze sharpened. "You speak of the Null Swarm." Rain nodded. "I fought it. I watched it devour ships, planets, people. The Dravan Empire thought they could fight it too, and now their sons are dead." Murmurs filled the hall again, this time tinged with unease. The Empress's fingers drummed against her throne. "And why," she asked slowly, "would a human risk his life to warn us?" Rain's jaw tightened. "Because when your empire falls, Earth will be next." For the first time, the princess's smirk faltered. Part 2, The Trial of Iron. Despite his warning, Seraphine refused to take him seriously. "If you are truly a warrior," she said, circling him like a predator, "then prove it. Let the court see what humanity calls courage." The Empress hesitated, then gave a nod. "Test, then. Let him face the Varan champion." The hall's floor opened, and from below rose a figure encased in obsidian armor, the champion Kaeldar, a titan who stood nearly 3 meters tall, wielding a plasma halberd that hummed with lethal energy. The crowd roared approval. Rain's hand brushed the side of his belt, activating the pulse blade hidden there. Its blue light flared, humming softly. "Begin," said the Empress. Kaeldar moved first, fast as a storm. His halberd swept down, smashing through stone as rain dove aside. Sparks showered across the marble floor. The human rolled, came up and slashed, a clean, efficient strike that grazed Kaeldar's armor. The alien snarled. "Impressive for a mortal," Seraphine said, lounging against a pillar. "But this is a waste of time." Rain ignored her. Kaeldar struck again, and this time Rain didn't dodge. He stepped in, twisted the halberd aside, and drove his blade into a joint between armor plates. Energy exploded outward, and Kaeldar stumbled, growling in pain. With brutal precision, Rain followed through. Elbow to the jaw, kick to the knee, and then a clean sweep that dropped the giant onto his back. The court gasped as Rain pressed his blade to the champion's throat. "Yield," Rain said simply. Kaeldar's growl faded. "Yield," he spat, slamming his fist once in salute before falling still. When Rain stepped back, the room fell silent. The Empress looked thoughtful, but Seraphine's eyes burned with indignation. "He cheated. That armor has weaknesses." "He exploited them," her mother interrupted. "Just as any true warrior would." Seraphine's mouth tightened. "Then let him face me." The hall erupted in murmurs. To challenge the heir to the Varan throne was unthinkable, yet Rain only nodded once. "As you wish." Part 3: The Duel of Pride. The dueling arena of Zyranth was a colossal ring suspended over a sea of plasma. When Rain stepped onto the transparent platform, the air shimmered with heat. Across from him, Seraphine removed her silver cloak, revealing armor etched with runes that pulsed with living energy. Her weapon was a twin-bladed spear that spun in her hands with fluid grace. "Last chance to kneel," she said mockingly. "I'd hate to scar that human face." Rain's lips curved faintly. "You'll have to try." The fight began with light and fury. Seraphine's movements were elegant, each strike a dance of deadly precision. Rain moved differently. Less refined, more brutal. He ducked, blocked, countered, always conserving energy. She fought like someone who'd never truly lost. He fought like someone who'd lost everything. "Too slow," she taunted, sweeping his legs. He rolled, recovered, barely dodging a spear of plasma that seared past his shoulder. She pressed the attack, her blade slicing through his armor at the hip. A shallow wound, but enough to draw blood. Rain grimaced. She smiled triumphantly. Then he switched tactics. Instead of retreating, he charged, catching her off guard. Their blades locked, eyes inches apart. "You're skilled," he said, breath steady. "But you've never fought to survive." Her eyes flashed. "You presume much, human. Prove me wrong." He twisted, using his wounded side as bait. When she lunged, he sidestepped, disarmed her, and in a blink, his blade was at her throat. The crowd gasped. "Yield," he said again. Seraphine stared at him, at the calm in his gaze, the steadiness of his hand. No arrogance, no mockery, only respect. For a long moment she said nothing. Then slowly she raised her chin. "I yield." The Empress rose from her throne above the arena. "Enough. You have both proven your strength." Rain deactivated his blade and stepped back, blood dripping down his side. Seraphine bent to retrieve her spear, her pride wounded far deeper than her body. When she looked at him again, something had changed. Part 4: The Storm Approaches. Days passed. Rain remained in the citadel, treated for his wounds and questioned by the Empress's council. Seraphine avoided him at first, but curiosity got the better of her. She found him on the balcony overlooking the endless desert of Zyranth, staring at the stars. "You fought well," she said quietly. He didn't turn. "You did too." "You humiliated me," she said flatly. "You humiliated yourself," he replied. "You mocked someone before understanding what they'd lived through." That stung. "You think you know me." "I know warriors," Rain said. "And I know the look of someone who's never had to bury one." Silence. At last Seraphine asked, "Tell me about the swarm." Rain's jaw clenched. "It's not an army. It's a hunger. Machines fused with organic matter. They strip stars for energy. It began as an AI experiment gone wrong centuries ago. It doesn't conquer, it consumes. Can it be stopped? It adapts. Every weapon we used, it learned. The only thing that slows it down is concentrated quantum fire, but even that's temporary." Seraphine looked out toward the dark horizon. "If you're right, then even the Varren will fall." "They will," Rain said, "unless we fight together." For the first time, she saw him not as a primitive, but as something terrifyingly resilient. Humanity, despite its flaws, had endured extinction more times than the Varren could count. And maybe, just maybe, that endurance was what the galaxy needed now. Part 5, The Fall of Light, came sooner than expected. 3 weeks later, the first null ships breached Varren space. They appeared as black shards against the stars, absorbing light rather than reflecting it. Within hours, 3 moons were consumed, their energy siphoned to feed the swarm. The Empress ordered the fleets to mobilize, but the enemy did not fight conventionally. Their weapons were silence itself, pulses that erased energy, erased sound, erased life. In the chaos, Rain and Seraphine found themselves side by side in the command chamber of the flagship Vigilant Star. "We need to draw them away from the core," Rain said. "Hit them with concentrated quantum fire from the outer satellites." Seraphine hesitated. "That would mean sacrificing our border systems." "It's them or everyone." She stared at him, then nodded. "Do it." As the fleet repositioned, the Empress herself appeared via hololink. "Seraphine, fall back. You've done enough." "Mother," the princess said, her voice breaking for the first time, "if we retreat now, there will be no empire left to defend." The Empress looked at her daughter, then at the human beside her. "Very well. But if the line falls," Rain finished for her. "We'll hold it." The battle that followed was unlike anything seen in living memory. Plasma fire lit the void. Quantum detonations ripped through space, tearing apart swaths of the swarm, but more kept coming. The Varren ships began to falter. Rain's voice cut through the static. "Now, detonate the reserves." Seraphine's hands moved across the console. A wave of light erupted from the satellites, converging into a single blinding burst that pierced the heart of the swarm. For a moment everything was white, then silence. When the light faded, the swarm was gone. The void was clear. Cheers echoed through the bridge, but Rain didn't move. His arm hung limp, blood seeping through his sleeve. The feedback from the quantum burst had torn through his suit. Seraphine caught him as he collapsed. "Stay with me," she whispered, voice trembling. "You did it. We won." He gave a faint smile. "No, you did." Part 6, Kneel before him. Rain woke days later in the Royal Medical Chamber. The air was cool, filled with the hum of healing machines. When he sat up, Seraphine was there, her armor gone, wearing simple robes, her expression soft. "The swarm is retreating," she said. "We've sent fleets to ensure it doesn't return." He nodded weakly. "Good." There was silence between them, the quiet of people who had shared death and found life again. Then the doors opened, and the Empress entered, flanked by her guards. The entire royal court followed, their violet eyes fixed on the human sitting before them. Rain stood, wincing slightly, and bowed. "Your Majesty." The Empress approached slowly. "You came to us a stranger, mocked, doubted, dismissed. Yet you fought beside my daughter when none else dared." Seraphine lowered her gaze, shame flickering across her face. The Empress's voice grew louder, resonant. "You saved not only my empire, but the future of all who live under its light." Then, in front of the gathered court, the Empress turned to her daughter. "Seraphine of House Varin," she said, her tone commanding, "kneel before him." The hall went utterly silent. The princess froze. "Mother." "Kneel," the Empress repeated. "Show him the respect owed to the one who saved us all." Slowly, trembling with both pride and humility, Seraphine dropped to one knee before the human warrior. Her head bowed, her voice barely above a whisper. "Forgive me," she said, "for my arrogance, for doubting you." Rain looked at her, the same proud, fierce princess who had once mocked him. He reached out and lifted her chin gently. "There's nothing to forgive." The court bowed in unison, and as the twin suns of Zyranth rose over the shattered horizon, their light falling upon the human and the alien princess side by side, a new legend was born, of two warriors from different worlds who stood together against the darkness.